Cigars Blind Man's Puff at IPCPR 2017. We're here with Steve Saka of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Steve, how's it going?
That as always.
So at the trade show this year, you've got some new brands coming out, or you've got one new brand coming out.
There's no such thing as new brands.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, that's right. There's no new brands.
There are no new brands. It doesn't exist. Yeah, but we're showcasing in Mi Querida. We're showcasing two sizes.
Okay.
We're showcasing. It's kind of weird. We're showcasing the largest and the smallest at the same time. We have Masusia, which is 7x64. And what's weird about the Masusia is, oddly enough, in Mi Querida, it's actually the strongest of all the Mi Queridas.
Okay.
It's significantly stronger, and it's really meant for the consumer. It's meant for a very limited consumer, because most guys that smoke those really gigante style cigars, they tend to like milder cigars, smoother cigars, where the Masusia isn't. It's actually a much stronger cigar, so it's really meant kind of for if you like the Florida Man kind of diggers, then this might be a good change of pace kind of cigar for you. You know what I mean? And then on the other end of the spectrum, we're featuring the Gordita, which is like a plump 4x48 cigar, and it's one of my favorite of the Mi Querida line. And even though it's short in stature, it's huge on flavor, and and it lasts quite a long time. I mean, I've actually smoked them where sometimes they take upwards of an hour, even though it's only a 4x48.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of that has to come down to how is it bunched and how is it packed, and what tobaccos you're using. But you're definitely, for your money, it smokes longer than most Robustos from most companies.
Yeah.
So, and then we're introducing Todos Los Dias.
Yeah.
Todos Los Dias is an all Nicaraguan Puro. I think it's an incredibly strong cigar. But you know how when it comes to strength, everybody's perception of what's strong is different. Yeah. It's a very unique cigar, though, because it doesn't start off super strong. And the tobaccos are very well aged and fermented. So it's really quite smooth, but it has a weird characteristic to it, where most strong cigars have a real heavy black pepper, white pepper thing kind of going on. What this has is it has like a sweet chili pepper, cayenne pepper. And what ends up happening is instead of it giving you the spice on the tip of your tongue, it gets you on the sides to begin with. And then as you smoke it down, it then starts to cover the flat of your tongue in the back. And like a good curry, it lingers. And it just gets warmer and warmer and warmer. And what ends up happening is, where most strong cigars, you get like a super pepper blast in the beginning, you're like, wow, that's strong. Yeah. And then it kind of lulls and it mellows. And then you get to the back end, it then peaks back out again. This cigar just steadily just goes. Yeah. And by the end, it's quite a nicotine bomb. And if you're even in your head, if you're doubting the strength level, when you get to about the inch and a half mark, give it a retrohale. And that'll wake your senses up real quick. The retrohale will tell you it's a lot stronger than what you're perceiving, and it's got quite a bit of oomph. And it's definitely a really unique cigar. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's only good for the strength junkies, but I don't know if the strength junkies will like it, because it's so much different than what most strength cigars are like. Yeah. So it's a totally different experience. So ultimately, it may be a total failure, but the one thing it definitely is, it's unlike any strong cigar I've ever smoked before. So at least it's unique, at least it's different expression.
Yeah, tell us about the wrapper binder filler on that one.
Yeah, this one is it's an all Nicaraguan blend. Okay. So the tobaccos are a combination of Jalapa and Esteli, and the binder is also grown in Jalapa, and then the wrapper is also from Jalapa too. So there's a lot of Jalapa now that I'm thinking about it. And the thing about the wrapper that's kind of cool is it's most sun-grown Nicaraguan wrappers are really rough. Yeah. Whereas I really did a really super selective sort on it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know that you're ever going to see sun-grown Nicaraguan Capa look as clean as this.
That's really good.
I mean, it's super duper clean. And I really kind of screwed the duck on this because the intent going into it was to make a $7 to $9 cigar, and in the end I ended up with an $11 to $13 cigar. So
No, that's got great tooth on it, though. I really like that.
So it's we'll see what happens, but it comes in these 10 count boxes. And obviously it comes with cellophane for barcodes, but for this show we display the cigars naked so the retailers can see what the actual cigars really look like in the box. And box isn't anything special.
Well, I like it. I like
it's
it.
All right.
It's a good, unique layout. And I personally like the 10 count boxes. It works for me for my humidor.
The problem with the 10 count boxes, ultimately you as a consumer, you're paying more per cigar because the cost of the box ends up amortized over the packaging cost. So you put that same cigar in a 25 count box, then you're going to basically make every cigar 40 to 50 cents cheaper at the retail register. But the problem is that cigar in a 25 count box now becomes a $300 purchase, where in the 10 count box you can walk out of the store with a whole box of cigars for $120, $130. So it's 6 1/2 dozen. I don't know what the right answer is, but I can't even change it now because with the August 8th deadline from last year, we're not allowed currently to modify the packaging quantity. So it's in 10 count boxes whether I like it or I don't like it.
So from your line, what's your everyday smoke? What do you like?
Sober Mesa, I smoke a short Churchill every day. That's my morning espresso cigar. The other two sizes that I smoke a lot of is the Elegante. The Elegante, it doesn't get as much buzz and love, and I think the reason why is because it got released the same time as the Short Churchill. But that Elegante is it's a world-class cigar. And then I still love the Cervantes Fino, the Lonsdale. So those are my three favorites in Sober Mesa. The Mi Querida, I'm really not sure yet because it's not like Sober Mesa. Sober Mesa, there's a lot of diversity between the Vicolas. The El Americano's much smoother. The Corona's much more peppery. So there's a lot of range in the Sober Mesa line. Where in the Mi Querida line, it's much more straightforward. It's really just the slightly larger one's a little smoother. The narrow ring gauge is slightly bit more peppery. But there isn't as much of a range in there. So the only one in Mi Querida that I don't smoke frequently is the Robusto. And that's just because I don't smoke a lot of Robustos, me personally. But I smoke everything in Mi Querida except the Mas Sucio, the 7x64. That one I'm smoking pretty much for quality control purposes only, because it's kind of out of my wheelhouse for what I normally smoke. And Todos los Dias, I don't know if I'm ever going to smoke any of those. It's really... the way I smoke is I smoke 10 plus cigars every day. So I like for a cigar to be strong enough that I find it satisfying, but also I want to be craving another cigar afterwards. So like I like La Flor Dominicana's Double Ajeros. I like Skip's Roma Carafe Neanderthal. But those are cigars that when I smoke it, I then have to kind of take a pause afterwards. And for me, that's the way Todos los Dias is too. It's one of these cigars where I'm like, I need to take a pause. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go in that line. There's a size called the Half Churchill. It's like, I think it's 4 3/4 by 48. That's probably where I'll ultimately settle out to, but it's too young for me to know yet where I'll be. I'm going to be really interested to see what people's take, because it's going to be, some people are going to say it's so strong, it's unbelievable, and other people are going to say, what? Where's the beef? I mean, I saw a review by another online guy.
Are there other other online guys?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. And he said BK Rita was so strong that it was unsmokable.
Really?
Right, that it was like so incredibly powerful.
I don't get that.
It was
I don't
like
get that.
unsmokable.
Yeah.
And I can't wrap my brain around it. That's what I mean. This is why I'm so shy of trying to say what's strong and what's not strong. I mean, I have consumers. I was in a store just earlier in the week, and they were telling me how Sober Mesa is an incredibly strong cigar.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I don't get that, you know?
Well, I have one of those palates myself where people tell me, oh, this cigar is really strong, and then I try it, and I don't get it. I don't tend to get that. So, but you're right. It really depends on the individual smoker, what they're going to get from it. We're really excited to try it,
well, hopefully you guys don't think it sucks.
yeah. So
But at least I know with you guys. I mean, you guys, I like the way you do your reviews.
Yeah.
Because normally what ends up happening, like with cigars like mine, my cigars have always done really well, but they always end up where there'll always be one guy that really, really likes the blend and gets it. And there'll be one guy that's lower than the other two, and then two guys in the middle.
Yeah.
And that always reminds me of the old, I used to love the Playboy music reviews. They always had the same four people reviewing the new albums every single month.
Yeah.
And I knew that this particular guy was my guy. So if he really liked it, I knew that that was one for me to go for, because my musical taste lined up with his musical taste. Where another guy on there, my taste didn't line up with him at all, but I learned that over time that wasn't my guy. And that's what's nice about the way you review, because it gives the consumer a much broader spectrum, and also it lets them ultimately end up identifying with the reviewer that best kind of meets, because we're all different as to what we like and what we don't like.
Because you can read our site and find a cigar that, I see that Jeff really enjoyed this cigar, and I know I also really enjoyed it. So I'll just look up all the cigars that Jeff reviewed and find the ones he gave high scores to, and I'm going to seek out those cigars.
It gives you a punch list. Because you know that what Jeff likes tends to be something you like.
Yeah.
You like, and that's what I like about the way the system works.
Yeah.
So
for now until IPCPR next year, what are you hoping? Besides more growth, what are you hoping for your company?
I mean, the thing that's most important to me is tobacco.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been buying. I mean, as the company grows, I'm just having to make more and more investment in leaf. So I need to spend more time working with the Polones. So I need to find a way to separate myself from the dog and pony part of the business, so I can focus more on the cigar side of the business.
Right.
And the other thing too, and then the other thing that I have that I think is going to be really interesting is I think this next Muestra, the Naka Tamale, I'm going to be really interested to see how that experiment goes over, because that's kind of a crazy cigar.
Do you have an idea of when that's going to be in the
no,
market?
the cigars are already made.
Okay.
So we're going to be shipping them probably the tail end of October.
Okay.
So that's kind of a weird thing, because it's back in the days, cigar manufacturers' factories used to only work with one tobacco. You didn't have these multiple complex blends.
Right.
They were made the way Cuban cigars were. It's all the same tobacco, just different primings, slightly different fermentation, slightly different, aging, to try to give you some sort of complexity. So the question was, is it possible to make a cigar in the modern era that is doing that old style technique where there really is no different tobaccos, and you're trying to blend something that's interesting? And that's what Naka Tamale is. Naka Tamale is literally one tobacco for one farmer, the entire cigar except for the wrapper.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be really interested to see how people perceive that one.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I love it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Has anything surprised you in the last 6 months or so of some of the tobaccos you've been getting your hands on? No.
I mean, tobacco's tobacco.
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to wax poetic.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I mean, the thing about tobacco is there's just no such thing as great tobacco. Every crop, there's great tobacco, there's good tobacco, there's okay tobacco, there's crappy tobacco. So all it comes down to is being able to sort and differentiate and be able to select properly and buy properly and work properly. So, I mean, you can take perfectly great tobacco and ruin it. You can take some tobacco that isn't so good and if you're skilled at working it, you can train that tobacco to be much better than what it actually is coming out of the field.
Okay.
And that's just something that just comes from time and experience.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, Steve, we can't thank you enough for giving us a few minutes of your time.
No, my
and
pleasure.
telling everybody about it. So thanks again. Blind Man's Puff, IPCPR 2017. Thanks, guys.